Hello there, Akaze here once again. Akaze the Project Maestro here once again. Yes, there are two ways by which it is best for you to pay contractors on your projects, on your construction projects, either present or existing. So in this video, I'm going to outline two best ways by which you should pay your contractors or your artisans on your construction projects. Yeah, so also in this video, towards the end, I'm going to also let you know the reason why these two ways are the best ways to pay your contractors, the advantages you will gain, what you stand to gain by paying your contractors through these two ways that I'm going to mention. So are you interested? Yes, let's get right into it. Yeah. Yes. So there are primarily two ways by which contractors should be paid on construction projects. Yeah, the number one is the valuation method. The valuation method, and number two is the milestone payment method. Yeah, now the valuation method. Now this method involves valuing the work that the contractor has done at a certain point in time, maybe after a month or after 2 months, or depending on the period of the project. It involves valuing the quantity of work or the quantum of work that the contractor has done. And then after valuing that work, putting a cost to the work that the contractor has done, it will now be determined if the contractor has done more value of work compared to the amount of money that the client has paid him as advance, as a mobilization, or whatever it is he has received since the beginning of the project or of the contract. So when that valuation is done, when the works are valued, the client is then informed. Of course, the quantity surveyor is the one who carries out the valuation of works to determine payments. If you watch my previous videos, I've talked about the fact that the quantity surveyor is the primary person who determines, who manages the cost of construction projects. So the quantity surveyor is the one who will carry out this valuation. When the quantity surveyor carries out this valuation, he or she will determine if the contractor is due for any payment. And if the contractor is due for any payment, he's going to inform, or he's going to advise the client that, okay, based on the valuation of work, what the contractor has done to this stage, at this particular point in time, the contractor has done XYZ value of work. He's done 10 million naira, he's done 5 million naira, he's done 100 million naira, whatever the value of work. And based on what you have paid him, you have only paid him 10 million, or you've only paid him 20 million. So he's due for X or Y amount of money. The contractor needs more money to be paid to him so that he can move the work forward. Yes, so that is how the valuation, that's the valuation method of payment. That is the first method of payment by which you should pay your contractors. Now, valuation is a periodic thing. It could be monthly, it could be as at when the contractor deems or feels he needs a valuation, but whatever it is, the valuation, the period of the time interval between the valuations should be discussed on and agreed at the beginning of the contract, or when the contract is being signed, so that all parties will know that, okay, if it's a monthly thing, the quantity surveyor is going to come to your site and value the works and determine if actually the contractor has done a higher value of work than what the client has paid to him. So that's the valuation method of payment. Now let me show you a sample of what a valuation summary. A valuation is quite a voluminous document, but I'm going to show you what a valuation summary is, and here it is. Okay, I hope you can see the sample of the valuation summary. This is a valuation summary, what they call a valuation summary. I hope the letterings are legible. What you have at the top there is the quantity surveyors. That's where the consultant logo or the client's logo, depending on how the project is arranged, that's where it will be. Then you have the project title, you have the contract scope, you have the client. Of course, details here have been changed. This particular valuation summary is actual. The figures that are there have not changed, but of course, for obvious reasons, the detail, all the other details have been changed. Client name, contractor, even dates, location, has been changed for obvious reasons. But this is how a valuation summary looks. You have the date, you have the valuation number, if it's valuation number 1 or valuation number 2, you have the contract sum, you have the contract sum, then you have the what we call the builder's work. You see the figures there that you see, those are the items that make up the builder's work: preliminaries, variations, materials on site, remedial works, as the case may be. All those are the items that make up a valuation. That's why, like I said, a valuation is a voluminous document, but this is just a summary. So all the other documents, all the other figures in other documents are what are transferred to this valuation summary, as you can see. Then you have the gross value of work done, which is the total work done by the contractor. Then you have a retention, which is deducted. I'll talk about retention in another video. It's going to take long if I speak about it here. Retention is being deducted. That retention is just to protect the client. It's to protect the client's interest in case the project is completed and it is not in a good shape, or maybe there are a lot of errors. So that retention sum is held back so that it will push the contractor to ensure that he repairs and does make amends for whatever issues, whatever issues arise within a certain period after the completion of the project. So that's what retention. I'm going to do some other video that talks about retention. So you have a retention, advance payment. Well, I don't want to bore you with all the details, but you can see somewhere where we talk about previous payments, less previous payments today. Those are the payments that the client has made to the contractor before this valuation. You can see the advance payment. You can see further payments on accounts. So those are the sums. So when the quantity surveyor has calculated the value of work that the contractor has done, then he now goes ahead to deduct the payments that the client has made to the contractor hitherto before the current valuation is being done. The client or the consultant is going to determine how much. So this, you can see the two figures there. But now, funny enough, this particular, like I said, this is a real valuation. It was done some years ago. It's actually a real valuation. But when this valuation was done, the quantity surveyor discovered that the contractor was not due for any payments. Why you see a bracket, you see 61,020,148.09. Why you see a bracket there in Excel? This is Microsoft Excel. In Microsoft Excel, it shows it. When you say bracket, it tells you that that's a negative figure. It's like minus 61,020,000, etc. So that's why you see it is negative. So in actual sense, this valuation was in negative. In other words, the recommendation to the clients at the end of this valuation exercise was that, dear Mr. Client, the contractor has not done as much work as you have paid him. In fact, the contractor has done less work than you have paid him. In fact, the contractor, as we speak, still owes you a sum of 65 million naira. So you cannot pay the contractor right now. So that is what this figure, of course, inclusive of VAT, that's what this figure in bracket means. That's the meaning of this entire valuation, as you can see. That's the meaning of this entire valuation. That this valuation is in negative. If it's in a positive, you won't find the bracket there. You will see a figure, but without the brackets. That's how Microsoft Excel determines if a figure is positive or negative. So this is the format. This is the valuation format. So let's get on to the milestone format. The second method of payment by which you should pay your contractors is the milestone payment method. The milestone payment method. What's the milestone payment method? This method involves tying payments to the contractor to the achievement or the accomplishment of certain stages of work, certain predetermined stages of work in the project. Hence the word milestone. Of course, from the word when you say milestone, it means, somebody has achieved something, a particular, someone has made a particular achievement. Yeah. So a milestone payment, method of payment, it means tying the payments you're going to make to a contractor to achieving certain stages of work. Now, these stages involve, these stages of work in a project could be the foundation that, contractor, once you have, the client will say, I'm going to give you an advance payment of X naira. Once you have completed the foundation, I'm going to pay you a further, tranche or a further, portion of the contract sum. Once you have read after the foundation, maybe, you talk about the suspended floor slab, maybe the first floor or the second floor, depending on the kind of the size of the building. We say, when you get to the first floor slab or the second floor slab, we're going to pay you another quantum of another tranche of the contract sum, and like that. That is how that is how you pay the contractor when he achieves certain stages of work. Now, how do you determine these milestones? The quantity surveyor is the one who determines the milestones at which the contractor should be paid. Yes, it determines it. We call it a milestone breakdown. Usually when the contract is going to be run with a milestone form of payment, those milestones are listed in the contract award letter, which is given to the contractor, by the client through the quantity surveyor. The quantity surveyor prepares, that contract award and puts in the milestones. The quantity surveyor is the one who determines, the quantum of each milestone. How much, what's the cost of each milestone? What's the value of each milestone that is to be paid to the contractor? For example, if it's foundation, of course, the quantity surveyor will look at the bills. What are the bills? What is the cost of the foundation in the bill of quantities? It's going to allot that as the first milestone, or as the case may be. So the quantity surveyor is the one who determines the milestones. And of course, these milestones are always agreed, like I've said, are agreed at the beginning of the contract. So everybody knows, the contractor knows, the client knows that, once the contractor achieves this stage of work, he's due for the next payment. So what the quantity surveyor does in that case is to just come to the site, check, has he completed the foundation? He's completed the foundation, and then the quantity surveyor gives the client gives a recommendation that, yes, the contractor has completed the foundation, so he's due for milestone payment number 2. That's the next milestone, and like that. So that's what we call the milestone payment method. Okay, so this is a sample of a milestone breakdown. This is a sample of a milestone breakdown. I just decided to show this to you. This is a sample of a milestone breakdown. You see at the top there, you have the title of the project: proposed residential development for Limitless XYZ Limited at whatever. The milestone breakdown. Like I said, the milestone is it's a collation of it involves you tying payments to a contractor to the completion of certain stages of work. So based on how this milestone was structured, yes, the quantity surveyor determined that, for milestone 1, the contractor should be paid 100%, ground floor columns 30%. Then you have, of course, preliminary. So you see the figures. These figures are actual figures for a particular project, but of course, like I did for the valuation also, all the particular details have been changed, have been removed. So you can see for milestone 1, it was assumed that it was agreed or decided that the contractor should get 100% or should be paid 100% for milestone 1 or substructure. Then for the ground floor columns, it should be paid 30%. For the ground floor columns, for the ground floor columns, you should pay 30% of the total figure for columns. The total figure for columns in the bill of quantities. So this 30% goes for what? Ground floor columns. You can see BOQ sum. This is the total sum. 11,125,000 is the total sum in the BOQ for what? For columns. For columns. So the quantity surveyor has determined that, okay, for ground floor columns, based on the size of the project, 30% is enough for what? Ground floor columns. And that's why you have the total of what? 3.3 million for the ground floor columns. Now you have preliminaries, of course, 25%. The quantity surveyor, assumed that, well, for this milestone, you should give the contractor 25% of the preliminary. So I will talk about preliminaries, what preliminary is some other time. It's not a subject of discussion for today. So you can see 25%. The total preliminary is 7.2 million. So 25% of that is 1.8. So now for milestone 1, total 26 million. So what this means is that for this particular project, if the client wants to pay an advance payment or mobilization, the client will pay the contractor 26.4 million or 26.48 million as an advance payment. When the contractor completes all these items under milestone 1, completes the substructure, completes the ground floor columns, he is now due for what? Milestone 2. He is now due for the further payment for milestone 2. The quantity surveyor will come and determine that, okay, yes, he has completed the substructure, the foundation, he has completed ground, he has cast the ground floor columns completely, and so the quantity surveyor will advise the client that, client, okay, the contractor is due to be paid for milestone 2. You can see here under milestone 2, you have first and second floor columns. It is assumed that the contractor should be paid 60% of the total cost of columns in the bills of quantities, which is this. Then first and second floor beams, 66%, first and second floor flat. So you can see this is a larger milestone than the first one. So, milestones don't have to be the same figure. I mean, don't have to be the exact figure with the first and second. No, they can differ. The quantity surveyor is the one who will determine what each milestone should cater for. So you can see milestone 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 milestones total in this particular contract, and you see the total project sum is 104,244,000, etc. So this is the milestone breakdown. That's the milestone breakdown. Then we have, let me just show you this. This is the milestone certification. This is a milestone certification. This is when the contractor, the consultant QS surveyor has come to the site and determined that, okay, the contractor has completed milestone 1. So he does this. This is a document he produces. He says, okay, milestone 1, for example, here, milestone 1 has been done 100%, 26.4 million. So we have milestone 2, 3, and 4 that are left. You can see 0%. They have not been done. They have not been done. So then here it is. You see, estimated total value of work done is 26.4 million, which is the total cost of the milestone 1. And you can see what the contractor and what the consultant quantity surveyor says here. He says, under the terms of the contract mentioned above, and after reviewing the progress of works at the project site, I hereby certify that the main contractor, Messrs. Whatever their name is, has completed milestones 1 of the contract. So furthermore, since the main contractor has only received payment for milestone 1 since the inception of the project, I hereby approve the release of milestone 2 to the main contractor to aid their cash flow and speed up the progress and completion of the project. So these are the 2 documents that are used to determine under the milestone payment method. Yeah, so if you would like the copies, the soft copies of these documents to be sent to you, editable soft copies, please feel free to just check the link somewhere in this video. I will link it up there, and just give us your email address, and then we'll send it straight to you. Yeah, free of charge. So these are the 2 methods, proven methods, by which you should pay what? Your contractors. Every other way, every other form, every other form will put you what in jeopardy. And I'm going to, like I said, like I promised, I'm going to give you the reasons why you need to use either of these two systems or methods of payment that I've mentioned. So let me also reiterate the fact that the decision on which of these payment methods are going to be used to pay the contractor has to be decided and agreed between the client and the contractor at the negotiation table. Yes, you don't decide on which way you're going to pay your contractor, or which the contractor is going to receive his payment when the contract has started. No, you're going to decide that on the negotiation table. In fact, a standard contract award letter, I'm going to talk about contract award letter in some other video. A standard contract award letter states the method in which the contractor is going to be paid. So that is standard in contract award letters. A contract award letter that doesn't have the method in which you're going to pay your contractor is not a complete contract award letter. And if you don't have it there, it spells doom. There are going to be issues. There are going to be disputes between you and your contractor. So those things need to be fixed there. Yeah. So now, why are these the bona fide ways you should pay your contractors? These methods ensure that you don't overpay your contractors. Because if you overpay your contractor, what will happen? You put yourself as a client at a disadvantage. Yes, put yourself at a disadvantage. Also, these methods ensure that the contractor has a steady cash flow. Because if the contractor doesn't have a steady cash flow, then what happens? Your project will be slowed down. Because when the contractor's cash flow is hindered, what happens? His project will stop. The project will stop, of course, and you don't want that. So the contractor needs to have a steady cash flow. The third one, these methods help to mitigate your risk as a client to a great extent. It helps because when you use these methods of payment, it helps you. It ensures that that your interests are taken care of. It ensures at no point in time does the contractor have more money than he should. You understand? But there are some other systems of payments that you might use that are not recommended. If you use them, I assure you, sometimes you may find out that you have paid the contractor far more than what you should. And you don't want that, because if that is the case, the contractor can elope with your money. He can decide to abandon the project and go, and then you will be at risk. So, and also if the funds for the project, you took a loan from the bank, or you took a loan from a financial institution or things like that, those things come with great risks. So that's the reason why before you start your next project, you need to determine what method of payment do you want to apply to pay your contractor. Of course, the contract surveyor will give you such advice. So feel free to book a call with me if you want to start your next project. Feel free to book a call, and we'll see how we can help you achieve take your project to a successful completion. So till my next video, I wish you success in your projects. Stay blessed.